Judge, Miss Nina's hearing is not until 4.
Okay.
And I don't know if the husband was going to come or not.
Okay, so Miss Muncie, if I can get you to unmute.
Do you hear me?
Yes, and then Mr.
Okay.
Ash. Mr. Ash, if I can get you to unmute.
Unmute, huh? Right there it is.
All right. And then now, Mr. Ash, do you have a video?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a video?
Oh, I had some video of me prepping some stainless that I cut up in the time it took to do a short piece.
And I mean, are we going to be able to see you today?
Yeah, you should. I logged in with video. I'm really not computer savvy. Let's click on this. Choose video, something. Stop video. Should be, okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so before we get started, I'm gonna have each side tell me what they're looking for. So it's Mr. DeBoard and ASN Designs. What are you asking for today?
Sir, I'm asking, I mean, for the charges to be, for her to pay her bill, really.
How much
That's what
you
I'm
asking
asking her for.
How much are you asking for?
I have. Sort it out. Shows like it's a little around 7, should be 15 something, I think left. There it is. What happens when I organize paperwork? It is. It's not on the invoice. Right here, right? All of it? Or just some of it? I have it all printed out here. I have the same copies that I sent both of them. That's crap.
If we're gonna do the case, I need to know how much you're gonna ask for.
Yes, sir, it's like, it's so 15,000 and something was left over, and that was it. She paid some already, and then she stopped making payments, and that was the remainder.
Okay, and I need to know what that remainder is.
Yes, sir. It's what is this stinking? I have all the, when I organize paperwork, I mess them up. I believe. Okay. It is, let's see, 15, 15. Right here. There it is. Holy crap.
I mean, if you can't tell me what you want, we can't proceed. Well, you're not going to get anything.
Oh, okay, right here. It says $11,815. That's the remainder. I'm sorry.
11,815 even.
Even. That's no damages, no nothing like that. That's just what she owed me for where I was at when I stopped working on her truck.
Okay. And Miss Munsey, what are you asking for?
35,000 even.
All right. So, Mr. DeBoer, do you have any witnesses?
I did not call any.
All right. And Miss Munsey, you have any witnesses?
No, sir.
Okay. So it's nothing for me to consider.
I submitted all my paperwork to the court already.
Okay, but we're in a trial today. So if we're doing a trial, people have to admit exhibits and present evidence and testimony so that I have something to go on.
I don't have anything additional
Okay,
than
so
what I submitted.
Okay, let's stop then. We'll get started. This is clause number 21 CV 6175, Noelle Munsey versus Chris DeBoer. Miss Munsey, if I can get you to state your name.
Noelle Lynn Munsey.
And Mr. DeBoer, get you to state your name.
Christopher Rodney Lee DeBoer.
Okay. All right. So we're here today on an appeal from a case from Small Claims Court. This is a new trial. So we start from the beginning and each side has to prove their case. So Ms. Munsey, do you have anything that you want to present?
I do not, other than what I already submitted to the courts.
Okay. And again, what you submitted in the past, it doesn't count. I need to have evidence for me to make a decision. So do you have any evidence or testimony to present today?
Well, I hired Mr. DeBoer to install restaurant equipment that I purchased.
Wait. Nobody's been sworn in yet. If we're going to proceed with the trial, I need to know who is going to testify so I can swear them in.
I'm going to testify.
Okay, and Mr. DeBoer, do you have anybody who's going to testify?
Just myself, sir.
All right, so let me get the two of you to each raise your right hands. You and each of you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
All right, so Ms. Munsey, you may proceed.
I hired Mr. DeBoer to fabricate a Frito-Lay truck that I had purchased with restaurant equipment that I also purchased. I took everything over to his house in November, right before Thanksgiving, and we decided that with a mutual conversation that it was going to run between $2,000 and $3,000 to put the equipment in my truck because everything was already purchased and I was going to purchase all the welding supplies or anything else that he needed. Within a couple of weeks, he said that it's going to cost more money. And I said, just let me know every $1,000 that it goes up. I need to know where my budget's going to be. So and this is all via text that I already submitted to the court. The first text on December 18th was, we were at $1,300. And the next text on December 21st was at $2,000. And that was the last of the money that was discussed. When in January, we got together verbally, he said that I was now at 53 hours. He was billing me $150 an hour instead of $100 an hour, which we agreed upon via text as well that I submitted. And my bill was at $8,300. I asked him at that time why he did not let me know as we were going up every $1,000, because the last I had heard from him on December 21st, it was at $2,000, which I had paid. Within 2 weeks later, it was already at $8,300. So he said at that time that he was almost done. He had no more than 5 to 6 hours left. That is also in the text that I submitted. So I let him finish because I didn't want to start over with somebody else. Then on January 2nd, when all this blew up, February 2nd, he had sent me a blank contract over, and he said via text, which is submitted, that he was not going to return my vehicle unless I signed the blank contract. I told him I was not comfortable signing the blank contract because it was empty. And I said that on text. I said, only a fool would sign a blank contract that's not filled in at all. And he at that time told me that I would not be able to pick up the truck unless I signed that contract. I at that time asked what the bill was, and then he sent over the bill. The first bill was at $15,000, which I submitted. I then told him via text that I wanted him to put all of my stuff in the truck and I was going to come pick it up. He responded with he was going to call the sheriff's department and not to step foot on his property. That's when I called the district attorney and the sheriff's department and told him that he had all of my stuff at his house. He had my truck. I have the title, all the receipts to all the equipment. And they told me to call the district attorney at that time, which is, well, I think this was a Saturday, and I called him on Monday. And the district attorney told me how to proceed, to go to small claims court.
Okay, anything else?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
His bills are all over the place. The secondary bill that he sent to the court, which I never received, only through the court system when he filed with the court, was then at $23,000. His hours are all over the place. Nothing makes any sense. And like his bill that he submitted said he didn't start working on the truck till the 23rd, I believe. Yet he was already, via text, he was already billing me for several hours. And on his bill, like all the welding, putting in the sink, blah, 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 all this stuff that he was billing me for, he never even did. I also submitted at the very end of my papers that I submitted, were ads for brand new trailers, fully equipped for $12,000. I would have never agreed to even the $8,000 that he initially billed me. He's been dishonest and deceitful this entire time.
All right, so you had said that you were asking for $35,000. Where do you get that amount?
It lost wages. He told me that the truck would be done by January of this year, January 1st.
Okay, so, and now do you have the truck now?
I do have the truck. He still has over $6,000 worth of my equipment at his house that I put a list in and submitted. And all of the money that I paid him, I'm asking for that to be returned because he did not fulfill anything that he billed me for. It is now down in Houston, and the guy had to pull everything that he had done, like the electrical, nothing worked. He put like 2 counters in. didn't fasten any of the tables, didn't do anything. He cut a window, didn't fasten any hydraulic arms, nothing at all. So the guy that's redoing it now has to start from scratch and pull out what he's already done.
And now, did you go to small claims court or JP court?
No, I was told that Sealy, which we live, I was over the amount, and they told me to go to Belleville, which is where I filed for the first time, which is this case.
So you said you had $6,000 of your equipment, and how much did you pay?
I paid 8,300 or 70. Hold on. I paid 7,300.
And do you know what was done for that $7,300?
According to what is in my truck or according to what he billed me for?
Well, we'll start off with according to what's in your truck.
There, he put in stabilizing rails and 2 tables. I had a table that was already done. He just had to bolt it down. I had a prep table that was already done. He just had to bolt that down, and a freezer. So he was supposed to run electric, install the sinks, which I supplied everything for. He never did that. He has all the supplies for that as well. Painting, he never did. He has all those supplies as well. All he did was run wiring that doesn't work, and he ran stabilizing bars around. He installed 1 table on one side and 1 table on the other side that's not very shoddy welding. It's not even, there's open seams where I can cut my hands on it.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. DeBoer, do you have cross-examination questions you want to ask Ms. Muncy?
Yes, sir.
And so you're going to ask her a question and then let her answer the question.
Okay, yes, sir. I have right here, I have a list of the questions. Where's the packet? Right there. There it is. So all right.
Go ahead and ask her questions if you want to ask her a question.
Yes, sir. I got a packet of, I wrote them down so I wouldn't. Miss Muncy. The Frito-Lay truck, you said you bought it, needed fabricated. You dropped it off at my house prior to the date that I started it, right?
Correct.
Okay, but like 2 months prior to when I started it.
No.
I just started December 19th, I think is what my paperwork says in it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Miss Muncy, the restaurant equipment that you purchased, like the prep table and thing, the prep table didn't work, correct? I had to take it apart.
I got to wait for her to answer the question.
It worked when I dropped it off.
So when you and I plugged it in, or actually you plugged it in, and you're like, it gets a little cold, but it won't stay cold. And you had me have an air conditioner friend check it out. You're saying that worked?
It worked. It wasn't working as well as I wanted it to.
Okay. Did you agree that I was supposed to change out your prep table innards and make it work to save you money with a small refrigerator? I just put the cooling system in that rather than you buy a whole new table?
Correct.
And that was because it was operable and would have Well, no, now that's just being bad. Okay, so. All right. The other restaurant equipment you said you bought some, and one, I think it's tables, is it?
Correct?
You have, so the restaurant equipment that I cut up was those tables?
Yes.
So there's only one table, you said, and it
No.
got put in the truck and not bolted down. That's what you just said. And then I supposedly cut up all the other tables, which I submitted pictures of. I believe if you look in the packet, all the equipment in her yard prior to coming to my shop. And then all the equipment as I went through, and by her decision.
And what's your question? What's your question to Miss Muncy?
So how many tables did I cut up? And why did I cut up all the other stainless you were talking about I owe you for?
I delivered 4 tables to your house. One is still at your residency. One is in my truck that you did not bolt down, and the other 2 you cut up to make tables for the inside of my truck.
Okay, who decided that they wanted to cut up these alleged tables to build shelves and countertops and cut in countertops for your truck?
We decided together.
We decided? We made decisions for your food truck, Miss Muncy? I just weld stuff, ma'am. So after you decided to cut the material you had, through my suggestion, I made that suggestion, but when you decided to cut the material up or change the tables into material, what did I do with all that material?
I have no clue.
Okay. When did you receive the packet that I sent you from the court?
Yes.
Okay. So the packet that you sent the court and that you sent me, I was looking, there's no pictures, or I can't find them, I guess, of the shoddy welding and the truck versus trailer cost and all these things you're talking about. Did you send the court all these text messages and all these pictures of this stuff?
Yes, which I also submitted to you, sent the same packet.
I only got maybe 4 pictures, and you can't see their little small black and white pictures, and they don't have any of the welding in it.
At this point, Mr. DeBoer, you have to ask her questions, okay?
Okay, solely questions. Why didn't you take better pictures since you had the truck in your possession this whole time? So that we could see this welding?
Because your pictures that you submitted are fabulous. I didn't think I needed any more.
My pictures don't show the beads. No, not questions, just questions. Okay. Are you working now?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, the hood. It says I have hood damage. Did you have any pictures of the hood damage?
Yes, I do. I submitted it in the package.
You submitted? Oh, the fan. That's a question. So on the stuff I owe you, you said that I have allegedly. I got a big list here. This big fan, this big old fan I owe you for, it's like $100 or something, you said. Did you not ask me to take that out of your shop at your house? I picked it up at your house, put it in my truck, and brought it to my house because you gave it to me?
No.
So you didn't give that fan to me at your residence from my shop?
No.
Then how did it end up here?
I gave you the list of items that you still have at your house Those were given to you so I could get credit on my bill.
Do we have that, that agreement somewhere? That you gave me a fan as credit to your bill?
I'm not sure about if the fan is mentioned, but other things are mentioned. Yes, I do have that in a conversation that I submitted to the court.
Okay, the sinks that you brought me that you're alleging. The sinks that I still have. Now, didn't when they wouldn't fit in your truck because they were too large, did I not give those or say, here, they won't fit, you can do whatever you want with them, I don't need sinks? And you're like, you can scrap them or whatever? Because they're out back in my scrap pile. I have her sinks, sir. But
I'm still waiting for the question.
the question, didn't you just tell me to toss those sinks, keep them, you don't need them?
No, I did not.
Oh,
I could resell those the same way that I bought them.
are you aware that the cost, that there's a cost difference between a truck and a trailer? And like,
Yes, I am.
did you look up the fabrication cost of a food truck?
I didn't understand the question.
When you were preparing to build this truck, you and I talked about this, did you look into how much a fabricator cost to cut everything apart and to rebuild the inside of a truck and weld and measure and design? And
Yes, I did.
okay, and the $2,000 thing that we agreed on in the beginning, that was to take the equipment that you had unchanged and screw it to the floor of the truck, right?
Correct.
Okay, and when none of that stuff would work for you, you said it won't work. I said, well, this is now a fabrication job. To fabricate is completely different. And I won't charge you my entire fee, but I won't charge you for prepping or cleaning or any design, since you were in such a hard spot, you said, but I have to charge you if I turn my machine on and run it, like if I'm doing welding, right?
I don't know what the question is.
The question is, did I not tell you that I won't charge you for designing and drawing all the blueprints and measurements of anything I put in your truck? And I won't charge you for like cleaning the material and cutting all your material apart to turn it into stuff we could use for the truck. I will just charge you to install and build the things in your truck.
That sounds accurate, yes.
And a fabrication fee at $150 is a discount. And that's what we agreed on, for me to fabricate your truck, correct?
That is not correct. I have a text that says you were going to charge me $100 an hour.
For install.
For everything. The text says fabrication. I won't charge you the normal $150 fee. I'm only going to charge you $100.
That text is here?
Yes, it is.
I don't remember this. 100. Yeah. There's nothing about fabrication. Can you read that text to us? By any chance, do you have it? Maybe I'm.
Well, I wasn't prepared to read it because it would take me a while to get it.
I have it right here. I guess the courts probably have it. Did I say that for fabrication, I would knock it down to $150 or $100 an hour?
That's what you said, yes.
Huh? In the text message.
Yes, it's on my page 4, if you'd like to read it on December 8th.
Okay. Yeah, so, see, I'm trying to get the rest of the questions. That one's a loop. Let's see. With that. Oh, when I sent you this, this contract, was it not because you said that you were out of money and that you would have to make payments? And prior to then, we didn't have any contract because I was just helping you, correct?
That sounds like a 2-part question that has 2 different answers to it.
Yeah, I'm from Kentucky. It may. So first question. I was just helping you out on vacation and stuff. I said I would help you because you were in a hard spot and you didn't know any food truck fabricators around here, right?
You said you would help me, and I do know food truck fabricators around here.
Yeah. Right. Why didn't you go to those food truck fabricators?
Because I felt one was overpriced and the other one was underpriced and not reliable.
And they needed a sense of urgency, correct? You said they weren't urgent?
Correct.
Okay. And when you brought me the food truck, even after almost 2 weeks of me working on it, we were still waiting on stuff for your food truck to even put it in there so it could be done, and still trying to get correct things resent to you, right?
That is incorrect. You had everything at your house before Thanksgiving break.
The blower and the
stuff that
hood and
we
everything?
ordered
At a
later.
time, please.
I had everything to do the truck at my house on Thanksgiving.
We ordered bits and pieces after the fact, like welding rods and replacement pieces.
Who's we?
You would tell me that this certain object wouldn't work, so I ordered another one. Most of it was welding supplies that I did not know that you would need.
Oh, the filler rod, yes, ma'am. But as far as restaurant equipment, like the hood vent and the blower and all that, was at my house on Thanksgiving?
You had all the restaurant equipment except the hood and exhaust. Those are the only 2 items you did not have at your house. And I believe that they came in early December.
So even after we started the truck, we still didn't have all the equipment for the truck to finish it.
I don't understand the question.
I think you do. So why didn't you use those other fabricators?
One I felt was too expensive, and the other one I didn't feel was reliable.
And how long have you known me? All the expensive, yes.
Probably 9 months.
How much was the other fabricator's charge, the one that was too expensive?
$3,500.
And but that wasn't to fabricate, was it? Wasn't that
Yes,
just
it
to
was.
put the stuff in your truck? Like
No,
the
sir.
deal we made? Okay, I was under the impression, let's see. So $3,500 to install all the stuff in your truck was too expensive.
Correct.
Oh, the $1,000, you said to let you know every $1,000. Did I agree to do that or say I will try?
You agreed to do that.
Okay. I don't.
That would
Did
be
you,
page 4 again.
Did you ever change, like, did you have any changes during the thing, during the building of the food truck? Did you change some things?
Yes, I think there's always going to be little changes here and there.
Did you change the size of the hood to fit a donut machine that I was at your house?
No, I did not.
You didn't?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you have a donut machine for your truck?
Yes, I did.
Was it ever brought to my house?
No.
Okay. Okay. What happened to the donut machine?
I sent it back
Why?
because it didn't work.
Because it didn't work?
Correct.
So do you have all the text messages back and forth about the truck for me and you?
I
Right?
certainly do.
You certainly do, all of them, huh?
Yes, I certainly do.
Why didn't you send those to me? And was it
I
in reference to the truck?
Time.
I'm sorry.
didn't hear what she said.
My computer lags, I think it did, like, I got poor
I think
Wi-Fi
your
in the
time is
country.
up.
Why didn't you send those to me in my request for discovery? I asked for the correspondence about the truck back and forth so that we could get
I
on the same
sent
page.
you all the
It is.
I sent you all the correspondence that I thought was necessary that I sent to the court. I didn't print up every correspondence we had back and forth. The relevant ones I printed up, sent to you and sent to the court. You got the same ones the court's got.
Why is your words marked out or blocked out of a lot of the text messages? Like it's just what I said in some of them.
They're
Copies.
not.
Why is that?
Right here. They're not.
Well, that's one page, but okay. All right. You know, I got a lot of work to do, man. I don't have, Your Honor. I don't have any more questions for her.
Ms. Muncy, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, so, and Ms. Muncy, if I understand, you're saying he has $6,000 of your equipment and you paid him $7,300 and didn't get what you paid for?
Correct.
Okay, so Ms. DeBorg, or Mr. DeBorg, I'm sorry. You want to give your testimony as far as what you're asking for?
Excuse me, sir. Well, initially, after we decided, or she informed me that she couldn't pay, she was out of money. Okay. Okay, so let me start from the beginning. This is the deal. She came to me and was like, do you know any local fabricators, food truck fabricators? I said, no, ma'am. I know some in Hawaii. I don't know any here. I told her, I said, I could weld your countertops and things like that, if that helps you. I was taking Thanksgiving vacation. So she brought it over there initially. I was just going to do all the welding and stuff in this truck, just put these counters and stuff. And she's pinching money every bit she can to save money because she's been on unemployment for a while. And so I was like, well, I have a bunch of square structural steel. You can have it. And I won't charge you for certain things like the planning and the cleaning of material because I'm on vacation anyway. It's free time, more or less. But I have to charge you to run my welding machine and fabricate stuff. And so I started the job and I lost my place. But anyway, she informs me that she's maxed out a credit card or something like that early on in the thing. And I'm like, well, that sucks, ma'am. You know, you got to budget and plan for what you're building. And then she's always running into issues with the distributors, like they sent her, the wrap was wrong or something. And then the hood vent, the filters wouldn't fit inside the hood that were supposed to vent grease. And just different things like this kept coming up, and we would fix them or alter them. Her prep fridge didn't work, wouldn't even get cold, but for a minute, and then it stopped getting cold together. It had a leak in the compressor. So I told her that if they're expensive, go buy you a fridge and I will put it in. I'll put the guts into that prep fridge table so that you can keep food cold. And I had a friend of mine that's really savvy with that stuff come over here, and I paid him to put that in her table. And he fixed that. I didn't charge her for that. I didn't charge her for the guy coming over. He did it as a favor to check her table out. And then about, I don't know, 3 weeks into it, she said, well, I have to have a place to wrap it. I'm going to wrap it at my yard. Do you know anything about wrapping? And I said, no, ma'am, I don't wrap trucks. So I called a friend in Hawaii, and he said, you have to do this certain process. It's about the only way to get it to come out not wrinkled and this and that. I said, when we're finished, we'll clean out a spot and you can hang it in there and I'll help you put the wrap on, and I won't charge you because I'm not a painter or a wrapper. And so I guess she got in a hurry or something like that, came over and did the wrap herself. The painting, as far as the painting goes, I was never hired to paint the truck. She was gonna just paint it outside or whatever she was gonna do. And I said, well, there's no business in this shop. It's a personal shop at the house. You can clean stuff out of the way and we can paint the truck. And, you know, paint it however. She had her daughter over to draw a thing on the side of it. And it never got painted. But it wasn't my responsibility to paint it. I painted all the trim. And when she was supposed to pick up the primer and stuff like that the first time, she picked up primer that was interior primer, and it wasn't for vehicles. And I said, you know, I don't think this will work on your truck. It'll probably peel off later and it'll look like crap. So you got to get different primer. And then I went back to working on fabricating the countertops, which I gave you in the pictures. I don't know how to go about getting into the packet of pictures I sent you. Is there a process for this? Like,
there is.
Okay. And I have to call into evidence? What's the process?
It's up to you to present your case.
Oh, well, I would like to draw attention to all the pictures that I sent. And if you go down through them, there's some pictures in there. What's the numbers on them pictures? I got them numbered, see? But I only numbered your packet and her packet. I didn't number my packet, but I think I stapled it in order. So picture 1, 2. I took the sleeves off of mine and put them on. 3, 4. Okay, if you look at pictures 1 through maybe 10, like this picture here. This picture in your packet. It is, I think it's what you served. I don't know a lot about food equipment, but this is in her yard. This is a thing that was in her yard. She wanted me to cut up and turn into countertops because they all have to be stainless, which I did. This is a good one. Where is it down? Sorry, my pictures aren't color. Like this picture of, I don't know if they can see, I can't see the same thing. But this table is the table she's referring to that I just put in the truck. And I set it in there. That's how she wanted it. This hood is the hood she requested to be stretched for the donut machine she couldn't figure out how to work and sent back. all this railing is the square tubing and welding that I put into the truck. And I have to say, if you're gonna weld one joint an inch long, to clean it, sand it, make sure it fits properly, wipe it off, weld it, and then re-clean it, almost every little joint in there is probably 10 to 15 minutes a piece. And there's a couple hundred joints in her truck right now. Let's see, the prep table. This is a picture of the inside of the prep table with the new guts in it. This white thing here is the cooling pack out of the other fridge. And my friend Andrew, he tested it, it works. I felt it, it was cold. This is pictures of some of the fabrication. We had to take everything out of the inside of the truck and then run her uprights and put this vinyl all in the truck and change it so it would pass code. Let's see. Okay, here is, I don't think it's a table. I don't know. It's, there's some sort of, I don't know what it's called, but it was in her yard and she wanted to put it in there for sinks. She was going to cut sinks into that in the beginning and then they didn't work. So this was some of the material that was cut up and turned into countertops and sink backsplashes and things. Where's the one with the countertops installed? I should have gave me a packet like that. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, here. So this picture right here is, it has the steel in it and the place for the sinks down here. And that is the countertops that I installed. And if you look at the last picture with all her stuff in the truck, I put all the generator and all the different stuff in the truck that she had brought to the house and told her come pick it up. And it was at the end of my driveway. She had 30 minutes and not to come past the end of my driveway was the words I think I used. Because I was kind of disappointed about the whole sob stories and this and that, and then just say she didn't want to make payments. I told her she could make payments of $10 a month if that's what she could afford. She just had to pay for the work I did. The generator mount on the back of the truck, if you look from the rear of the truck, there's a swinging generator mount. It's on her truck. And I'm trying to find a picture of all the countertops. Because I put all the countertops in there. And some other stuff even. Racks. Oh, here's a picture of the hood that was allegedly damaged. It still has the vinyl wrap on it. It's just bolted in there like was requested. And it worked. The electrical work, all the wires were pulled to their respective outlets. And I did that because when she requested the electrical work, I said, hey kid, that's an electrician's about $13 to $18 a foot for Romex. And then he's going to charge you for his time. You know, you're going to spend quite a bit of money on an electrician. I can pull your wires and wire up a socket. That's about the extent of my knowledge, if that'll help you. She said yes. So me and this gentleman right here did it. I have a picture of it, pulling wires. That's all we did. That's all we were supposed to do. I'm not an electrician. I don't know. I'm done with the beach. Now, as far as the stuff that she says I have, I don't have anything of hers other than those sinks. Well, I can't say I don't have it. No, I don't. They're not hers. The sinks, she said, just junk them. So they're out back of my shop in a pile of scrap metal that I give to a gentleman that lives in Wallace. And because he takes scrap metal, right? The fan she gave to me at my house or at her house. And I told her, I said, I don't really need I got fans in my shop, big port fans. I'll stick it back there if you want it out of the way. Somebody will use it on a job. And the shelves, the very first day she dropped off the truck, she dropped off all these food service shelves. And I was like, where you want to put all these things in that truck? And she said, oh, those are for you. I said, well, I mean, I'll take those off your bill because I could use shelves, and I appreciate the gesture, but I can't, taking them is a fishy area. So I'll take that off your bill. And I paid her full price for them shelves that didn't even have all the parts to help her out, and took it off her bill. And then she says it's her equipment. There's something else in there she said that was hers that I never even seen. I don't know what she's talking about. Oh, Wittenberg. Dollar General. I don't know what the Dollar General charge is. 120 bucks at Dollar General. I have no idea what that is. And Wittenberg Printing, I get hats from Wittenberg Printing, but I'm the only person that's ever purchased anything from there for me. And I'm the only person on the account. So all there is to, yeah. She thought she would bring like green Monsters. I drink those energy drinks. And she would, when she would come by the shop, she would bring one. She'd be like, oh, I brought you a Monster. I'm, well, thank you for being so kind. And she says, I owe her for all these Monsters now. I didn't know that was a thing. I would have bought my own Monsters. What is it? This picture right here. Perfect. She did send me a good picture. This picture that I sent to you guys of the truck, it's upside down. It's got canvases in the back because it was raining and we couldn't get the rain in there on the machines. And all the countertops are installed and welded to her truck right there in that picture. And there was something else. The comment about it's only $100. I read that text message and I don't see anything about fabrication because it's asinine to turn a machine on that costs more or right at $100 to run with all the parts and time and wear and tear to charge her that, right? So I charged her $100 for install and $100 to do the electric. Normally a fabricator would charge the fabrication fee from the time he starts on the clock till he gets off the clock for sweeping floors, for doing everything. It'd be 200 bucks an hour for me to build her truck. And I told her I wouldn't do that to her. I'd get rid of some of that cost. So that's where the $100 an hour came in. Oh. And there was what was the other one? Oh, the stuff that I have of hers. Yeah, back then. So I had her generator keys I found while I was cleaning up, and I contacted her and said, ma'am, I got your generator keys. What would you like to do with them? No answer. So, okay, I see how it is. And that's it. It was something, it was a generator keys, I think is it. I think it's it. But yes, that's it. And we made a deal. She come over there and needed some help. I said, I'll help you. You pay me for my time fabricating. I'll just charge you the hours. She said, you write down the hours and do me right, you know, be trustworthy about it. I wrote down only the hours that I worked. she agreed to pay me as I went. She stopped paying me. I stopped working on the truck. With all the changes and stuff, it already ran over. I was like, look, ma'am, I got to get this truck done. I even said in some text, which I requested and wasn't sent, that it's running over and it's costing me money now to help you on this truck. So I need to knock this out, stick with the plan, right? And after she said that she was out of money and could not pay, and then didn't agree to make payments, which we discussed in text, I told her, I said, well, I'm not gonna lift my torch back up and work on your truck unless you're gonna agree to make me payments. You gotta pay me for the work I did, that's it. And then that was, I mean, that's really about it.
Okay, so how many hours you say you put in on the job?
That is on the summary. Now I know why Dan makes so much money. That's right here. Okay. Thank you. There's a list. Now this is the one she sent me. I don't even know what. No, this is it. This is the one I sent her in the course. This is it. This ain't the first invoice thing we looked up. I had made an invoice prior that was like a weird printout because I'm new at this and I was working on an invoice, but it has nothing to do with this. And I shared that with her via email, and I think that's what she's talking about. I don't even have her information on it. It has, let's see, welding for fabrications, 121 and a half hours at $150. So that's a lot of math. Do you want me to go over all of the things, sir? Or
No.
just the total cost that she
No.
owes me now?
No, and then I see that you had filed a job proposal. So
Yes.
in the proposal somewhere, does it say how much you're going to charge an hour?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Hey, show me where that is.
This is the summary. And I didn't even type one of those up until the end of the job. I was just doing it for a favor to help out. Oh crap. Let's see. It's in there. I did. I submitted it to both of them. I should have made me a packet like theirs. Sir, I apologize. I'm not going to take your, it should be in this packet, but my packet does not look like your guys' packets. And I have disheveled it all to pieces, looking through, going over the stuff she sent me to match with it. So let's see, here's one of the calendar. Oh, there's one of the calendar when we started on the 19th of December. Nope, I don't have my job summary or the proposal, but I have it on my computer and I don't want to pull it up because I'm afraid I'll mess up the Zoom meeting. I did submit it in the packet, but I guess I'm supposed to have it way. Oh, I found it, sir. Okay. And it says, where is, this is not it. I don't have it. I guess the only one I have is is that it right there? The only one I have, or I don't have it here. I don't have it in my packet, sir. I dropped the ball on that one.
All right, so in December, there was a verbal agreement that you do some work on the truck.
No, it was prior to December. I started like all the stuff I did before December 19th. I never billed her for it. She would lay out some plans and then I would, figure some stuff out, do some math, draw some things up, ask some questions, but I never started billing her until the 19th of December when I actually started doing the welding on the truck.
And so when was the agreement between the two of you as to what you were going to do?
It was in November, when it was, yep, the beginning of November. And it was the whole putting stuff in, all the stuff that was in the pictures laying in her yard, to bolt that in the truck. It'll be about $2,000. I'll bolt everything in the truck. And when that changed, it was fabrication, and it was $150 an hour, 100 for electric, and 100 to install. And then she could add like a small chunk of a helper if I needed help because she wanted to expedite the truck. And that's
Okay. And so is there anything written down that I have that talks about that $150 an hour charge?
I'm pretty sure the proposal does. The job proposal and the job summary both, I think, should have 150 an hour on it.
Okay, I'm looking at the job proposal.
Okay. Let's see here. That's a request for. Oh, I did have another question. Dan said to ask. I don't think I can do that, can I? Can I get in my computer and get that off? Print that out real quick?
No, we
Okay. I do have one question I was supposed to ask. I almost forgot.
Okay, well, that's not the time for you to ask things now. So again, I'm looking at the job proposal.
Okay.
And I'm looking in here for where does it say you were going to charge $150 an hour?
I don't have the proposal. Okay, it should say let's see. It should say that fabrication's 150 and then have a list, fabrication, install, and electrical at the bottom of the proposal, I believe, is where it should. That's where it usually gets typed. Should be at the bottom.
I mean, I have a 2-page job proposal that about 13 paragraphs to it.
Right here. Let's see, we'll go down that sheet. Right here it says. Oh, there's a second sheet, should be for a job. The job proposal should come with 2 sheets.
I got that.
The second sheet should say cost, fabrication, electrical install per hour, and then have a customer signature thing. It's on it's just at the top of the second part of that sheet.
I'll show you here's 1 page of a job proposal.
That's not my job proposal. I guess that's the issue. I got the same paperwork about some job proposal that I sent her. And that right there, that's not my job proposal. I have it on. Well, I understand it has my information on it. That's probably the one. No, that's not the one I sent her. The one that I sent her in the packet and the one that I gave you in the packet is the one that I emailed to her. And it's printed out. I'm gonna print it out right here. Let's find out.
I have another case that's supposed to start 5 minutes ago. So Ms. Mundy, do you have questions for the board?
That's not, what the, huh? It's not the same.
Mundy, you need to unmute, and do you have questions for Mr. DeBoard?
Sir, what about the?
Okay, right now, I'm just, like I said, I have another case that was supposed to start 5 minutes ago. So Ms. Mundy, do you have questions for Mr. DeBoard?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, did we discuss that the truck was supposed to be done January 1st of 2021?
Did we discuss that?
That is correct.
He's asking me. Oh, we discussed that if no more delays, yes, it would be done by January 1st if nothing got changed again or there were any delays, which did not happen. Somebody changed a lot of stuff.
Okay, so you also, do you have the text of December 18th that I presented to the court where my bill was at $1,300? Do you have that text or the paperwork that I sent you?
If you sent it to me, I
December
got it.
18th. Okay, then your job proposal that you sent me starts on December 19th. Although you already had a $1,300 bill on the 18th. Are you aware of that?
Yes, and you're aware of that. Because you looked at the same calendar I did when I
So
said
if
I'm
you
going to
didn't
charge
start
you.
working
Give me a
until-
time.
I didn't hear what she said.
If y'all talk at the same time, I cannot get the record.
I apologize.
The one person asks a question, then the other answers a question. Go, Mr. Board.
So how did I have, if you didn't start the truck until December 19th, as your bill says, how did I have a bill of $1,300 on December 18th?
Because on the evening of December 18th, we discussed the work that I had done up until then, not charging you for. And on December 18th, I said, we're going to take, since I fabricated today, I'll write on my calendar, which I have right here, a big calendar for the 19th, and that's where we'll start. I guess maybe that can be confusing. But the evening of the 18th and all the welding I did that day, I billed you for. I started writing it on the calendar on the 19th because that's the day I was sitting in front of it. That's
Okay,
why.
so are you aware of the text on January 25th, page 7 that I submitted to you, where you told me that you had, this was after you gave me the bill of $8,300, and you sent a text that said you had no more than 3 hours left. Do you have that text?
That was, yes, and that was not about the truck being finished. You know, that was about the sinks being fabricated because yours wouldn't fit. So yes, I
Okay.
have that text.
So you didn't say the truck was going to be done. You said the sinks were going to be done. Is that what you're saying?
It says something about you now have 5 hours. And I said, yes, and then there's no more.
Correct.
Yeah, that one. It
Okay,
says, so
and
how
I
many
said,
hours
my
until
text
it's
is, so
finished?
how
Now,
many
listen,
hours
if two of you are
until
going to
it's
talk at the
finished?
same time, stop. I can't proceed with two of you talking at the same time. And you've taken longer than requested, so we're going to have to continue this another day. But is this what you're saying is the contract, Mr. DeBoer?
No, that's the summary of the job when I'm finished, when I was finished to where I was at.
I need you to define the contract or the agreement when this got started as to what you were going to do and how much that's going to cost, and submit that to Ms. Munzy and submit it to the court. And then when I get that, we will contact you both for another date to continue. And when we continue, got to have one person ready to go with questions and the other one to answer. That's all.
Sir, I don't have that. It would be false if I give you a piece of paperwork when we agreed on it, it was verbal.
Okay. All right. Well,
How do I go about that?
well, and if this is based on a verbal contract, to have an enforceable verbal contract, the terms have to be agreed by both sides. And so I'm going to have people testify as to what the terms of the contract were, so I can figure out if there was a enforceable contract or not.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, there was nobody involved in it. But,
Okay. All right, so then you write up what you understand the terms of the contract were, Miss,
That'll go nowhere.
Ms. Munson, you write up what you think the terms of the contract were and submit that. And we'll take a look at that and contact you both. But I need to move on to another case.
Yes, sir. Can I file? I can. That's right.
All right, so the people here for the Nino and Arriaga. So Miss Tiffany Nino, you need to unmute. And is the person that's listed the phone number that ends in 114, who is that? And Miss Nino, I need to get you to unmute.
Is it working now, maybe?
Now it is. Okay, and now the person that's the phone number ending in 114, I need you to unmute. Miss Nino, is that going to be Mr. Arriaga's phone number?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mr.
Can you hear
Arriaga,
me?
I can hear you now. Can you turn on the video?
I'm not sure how to work it. I'm on my phone. I don't know how to work the video.
All right, well, we'll see what we can do.
I have a FaceTime, but I don't know if that'll work.
We'll see what we can do. Before we get started, so Miss Nino, what are you asking for today?
Just asking for a divorce, child support. I'm asking to keep the mobile home that we own and to keep my vehicle, which is the 2019 GMC Acadia.
All right, and Mr. Arriaga, what are you asking for?
Just, I guess, my truck and my camper.
Okay, so I have a divorce decree here. Is that? Okay, so I have a divorce decree. It's just signed by Miss Nino. Mr. Arriaga, have you seen this?
Yeah, she sent it to me.
All right, is there parts of that you either agree with or don't agree with?
I agree with all of it.
Okay, let me just look through it quickly to see if we got everything. Okay, so in this, it says, Mr. Arriaga, you're going to pay $800 a month child support. Is that the agreement?
Yes, sir.
And you know you're going to pay that. It's an address in San Antonio where you'll send the money, and then they'll send that to her.
Okay.
Okay, now she has that starting on June 1st. Is that right? Is that the agreement?
Well, I've been sending her these past months, but I guess I can start again or continue.
Just starting in June 1st, you'll send the money to an address. It's in the divorce decree, but you'll send that to the address in San Antonio, and then they will send it to her.
That's fine.
Is there any way to do it where he just sends it to me directly, or does he have to use the address in San Antonio?
You should use that address in San Antonio because, you know, what happens all the time is in the future, there's a dispute over how much is paid and what's not paid, and nobody can ever prove it. But if it's paid in San Antonio, then there's a record, and it's real clear that he either paid $800 every month or he didn't.
That just kind of keeps track of what he's paying.
Right. That keeps
Okay.
that keeps track of everything for both of you. So if he didn't pay all that, then there's a record he didn't pay, and if he did pay, there's a record he did pay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like you got everything here. Miss Nino, do you have the sample testimony ready?
I believe I've submitted it with the paperwork.
You're gonna have to read.
Yeah, I just have the basic testimony that I printed offline.
Okay. Okay, so and I'll tell you what, before we get started, read me the first couple lines and see if that's what you got.
It says, Your Honor, my name is Tiffany Renee Nino. I filed this suit again for divorce from my spouse, Rodolfo Nino Arriaga.
Okay, that's it. Okay. So if we're ready to get started. Okay, so we'll go on the record now. This is cause number 2019 L7443, matter of the marriage of Tiffany Nino and Rodolfo Arriaga. Ms. Nino, if you'd identify yourself.
My name's Tiffany Renee Nino.
And Mr. Arriaga, if you'd identify yourself.
Rodolfo Nino.
All right, and if I can get both of you to raise your right hands. And do you and each of you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
I do.
All right, so Ms. Nino, you are the petitioner in this case, so you can present your testimony.
I just have a simple testimony, really. We have 3 children, so
That's that sample testimony you told me you had.
Just read it off of that?
Yep.
Okay. Your Honor, my name is Tiffany Renee Nino. I filed this suit for divorce from my spouse, Rodolfo Nino Arriaga. At the time I filed for divorce, I had lived in Texas for at least the 6 months and in Austin County for at least 90 days. I am asking for a divorce because our marriage has become unworkable and there is no reasonable expectation that we will get back together. My spouse and I have 3 children who are under the age of 18 or still in high school. I ask that the custody, visitation, and support for our children be ordered as set out in the decree of the divorce I presented to the court. I believe that these orders would be in our children's best interest. I am not expecting a child now, and I did not have children with anyone else during this marriage. I ask that our property and debts be divided as set out in the decree of the divorce I presented to the court. I believe this division is fair to both me and my spouse. And I am not requesting a name change. I respectfully ask that the court grant my divorce.
All right, Mr. Arriaga, do you have any questions that you want to ask her about her testimony?
No.
And I've been presented a proposed divorce decree. It's 28 pages. On the 28th page, Ms. Nino has signed it, and Mr. Arriaga, you have not. So, Mr. Arriaga, have you had a chance to review this document?
Yeah, I've looked it over before.
Okay, any questions?
No questions.
All right, so in this, it says Mr. Arriaga is going to get a 2018 Kodiak and a 2019 Dodge Ram. Is there any debt on either one of those vehicles?
Yeah, I still owe both of them.
And who is paying the note on those vehicles?
I am.
And is that note just in your name?
Yep.
How about the title to the 2 vehicles?
I don't have the titles. They're both under my name. I guess until I pay them off, I'll get them.
But is Miss Nino's name on the title?
No.
All right, then it says, Miss Nino, you're going to get a 2019 GMC Acadia. Is there a note on that?
Yes.
And whose name is on that note?
The name is under both of our names, but I've made payments since we've taken it out, and I've continued to do the payments myself.
How about the title on that vehicle?
The title, whenever it is released to us from Citizen State Bank, it will come in both of our names since we filed the loan together.
All right, so then Mr. Arriaga, when she completes the payments, you'll be ordered to sign the title over so that it'll just be in her name.
Okay.
And it says, Miss Nino, that you're going to get the property on Ward Bend Road. Is that right?
Yes, the only issue with that is the mobile home is in my name and his dad's name. The time of purchase, he was not in town. So he just asked that me and his dad put our names on the title. He did purchase the mobile home, but just wasn't here to sign the paperwork. So I went ahead and did paperwork with his dad. So legally, the mobile home is under Martin Nino, which is his dad, and myself.
All right. Well, and that's going to be a contract issue between Tiffany Nino and Mr. Arriaga's father. So he's not part of this divorce. So you're going to have to work that out with him. But
Okay.
if his name is on the mobile home, then you may be a half owner. What is the debt or the date, I'm sorry, that Ms. Nino, you're saying you separated?
I have it on there as of January 2019.
What date would you like to use in January?
We can use the first, that's fine.
Right. And then I also have been presented an income withholding order. But now it does not have Mr. Arriaga's employer. So in order for the employer to withhold money to pay the child support, that will have to be filled out. So
I don't need the employer to withhold as long as he's agreed to pay the 800 and does that on the first to the San Antonio address. I'm fine with it that way.
okay. All right. So then, Mr. Arriaga, anything else that you wanted to say?
No, nothing.
All right. Well, then, based on the testimony, I will grant the divorce, approve the property division that's in the decree, and approve the terms for the support and custody of the 3 children, and find that's in their best interest. So if either one of you want to come and get the decree, just come up to the district clerk's office on the 2nd floor of the courthouse. And Mr. Arriaga, you'll need to get that so you can see the address where you're going to send the child support.
Okay.
I put a little asterisk in the margin. It's on page 10 of the decree, and it'll be sent to the Texas Child Support Disbursement Unit. There's a post office box in San Antonio. So again, you'll mail it there. You want to put the cause number on your check, and then they will forward that to Ms. Nino. Ms. Nino, you need to make sure that if you change your address, hold on a minute. Okay, right now, the address as Ms. Nino is 2300 Ward Bend Road, number 568, Sealy, Texas. So that is where they're going to send the check to you. So if your address changes, make sure you update that so that you can get the child support every month. All right, anybody else have any questions?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
All right.